Have you ever wondered how you could be a top producing real estate agent, yet still give individualized attention? Today's guest has an absolute history of that for the past 28 years. In 2021, she sold $112 million in real estate, yet her claim to fame is individualized attention. This episode is for those of you who, again, want to be referral based, but don't want to be limited to the amount of families that you serve. This is going to be a special episode. So the big question is this: how do those of us in the real estate industry who have crazy amounts of ambition, how do we think bigger than the building of our own empires? How do we create success and significance, income and impact? My name is Justin Stoddard. This is my co-host Stephanie Peck. And together we bring you the Think Bigger Real Estate Podcast. All right, welcome back, everybody. Very excited to introduce today's guest, Andrea Gordon. She and I know each other well. We've had multiple meetups now, and it's been really fun to learn about her. She's been in business again for 28 years, top producing agent, also has a podcast and has a forthcoming book called Realizations that we'll talk briefly about. But Andrea, I want to thank you so much this close to a holiday for being so committed to come and share your expertise with the Think Bigger Real Estate audience. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And we've been up for hours already because we have the entire family coming over. So it's like a big rush all over the place here.
I love it. I love it. Such a fun time of year to gather together with, with loved ones. So anyway,
Yes.
we're appreciative of your commitment to your clients and again to sharing with the real estate industry. While many have slowed down a little bit, my guess is that many are going to be tuning in to hear how to do what you've done, which, as I mentioned kind of in the prelude to the show, is that, again, you sell a tremendous amount of real estate, and yet your claim to fame is individualized attention. Can you talk us through how maybe as your business started to grow, you continued to keep that same commitment of giving people individualized attention?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first off, you can't sell $112 million in real estate without having a team of people that work around you, for you, with you. That's the big thing I want to talk to your viewers about, which is the second you feel like your business is overwhelming you, that's great, because that means you need to hire someone to help you. I don't see people who are top producers without assistants. There are very few of them. And I don't think I've ever met a top producer that does not have at least one assistant. Currently in my team, I have 2 licensed assistants. And I also have a virtual assistant who's based out of the Philippines, who's got a background in computer coding and anything to do with tech. That is my team, along with a transaction coordinator. And I also have an entire marketing team called Agent Upgrade that is my advertising agency. Now, I'm very, very blessed because I am such a top producer, and Compass assigned a marketing group to me. So they make my print ads, they make my small social media ads that are not taken care of by Agent Upgrade. But I have a whole group of really amazing people working with me to make sure that my business stays really, really robust, and also so that I can have the time to do the things that I need to do. So we work in such a way that I have a dedicated meeting once a week with my marketing team through Compass. I have 3 meetings a week with my regular team, which is my 3 assistants. And I also have a once a week meeting with my transaction coordinator. And I also have a once every 2 week meeting with my advertising agency. You cannot make the money without putting in the time to make sure that the infrastructure is as good as it can be. So, for example, my assistant in the Philippines, she handles all of my CRM work. So my database is always completely up to date. Compass has programs involved that are called likely to sells. They have an algorithm through AI that checks out who might be that I've come in contact with through whatever. It doesn't matter whether it's a past client or someone associated with a client or somebody who's just emailed me once. There's something called likely to sells, and they show up every single day. My assistant in the Philippines has all of those people on a drip campaign. Do you know what a drip campaign is? Yes, of course you do. But a drip campaign means that routinely emails are sent out to those people, and occasionally, I connect with them either through a personalized email that I send them if they respond to something, and or possibly I might text them or call them. It normally takes about 7 phone calls to actually really connect with somebody who is a lead. And people give up usually after 1 to 3 tries. All you got to do is be a little bit more persevering in that situation, and something will come across, because people actually really, they respect and they respond to perseverance. That's one of the things that people forget about, which is, if you look like you're working hard, if you look like you actually really care enough about your business that you focus on these things, they will realize that your focus is greater for what they want than most other people. So if you are connecting with those people on a regular basis, even if it's just to say, hey, how are you doing? They love that. So that's a thing to do, and that's one of the ways in which I get the business that I do. Moreover, I stay in contact with my entire sphere. I have a sphere of 8,000 people. So, for example, Compass has a statistician who really once every 2 weeks comes out with amazing stats around either just exactly where I'm at in the Bay Area or nationwide, talking about market trends, what they see coming down the pike in the economy. And I send that out to my sphere, whether or not they're interested in selling, whether or not, whatever. I have a lot of attorneys that I work with. I send that to them. I think it's important for them to know, if they're working with estates, then they're going to be thinking about, okay, well, they haven't cleared the house out yet, and it's saying here that the trend in the spring is going to be X, Y, and Z because of, this relating to the interest rate. They're going to be taking that information in, and it's actually bona fidely useful information that they will appreciate. So I send that out to them. Once a month, I send out a newsletter, and in my newsletter, I talk a lot about whatever is going on at the moment. So, for example, this Christmas holiday season, I talked about the different holiday things that were available for people in the neighborhoods. I talked about market trends. I always do a woman that I admire, and this is apparently very popular with everyone, because I got really pissed off that there was International Women's Day when, sorry, Justin, but every day is Men's Day. So, so I pick a woman of the month every single month, and I pick somebody who's interesting, vibrant, doing something important, or somebody from history who's done something important. And that's a very, very popular feature that I have. I also am really, really active with Berkeley Humane Society. And so whenever they have an event, I advertise their events. I make sure that people are aware of what they're up to. And I put my money where my mouth is. I actually pay for the food for Berkeley Humane Animals 5 months out of the year. I am dedicated to donating at least $20,000 to them a year, and have done so every year for the past 15 years. So doing those things and getting known for those things in the community, once again, helps your business, but it also helps the world. So I do those kinds of things on a regular basis. People will hear from me one way or another at least 3 times a month, if not more. More than that is kind of getting a little too much, honestly, because not everybody always wants to hear from their real estate agent. But if you present these things to them, then you do stay a little bit top of mind. And always make sure that the information that you provide to them is actually useful information as opposed to fluff. So you're never going to find me sending out a postcard that has a recipe for peach pie on it. That's not meaningful, because I'm not about peach pie. I'm about real estate. So you stay to your topic, So the biggest thing I can say about staying authentic with your clients is figuring out who you are and staying true to that too. If you like sports, support sports things. and that will get you known in that community. I personally, I'm a theater director and producer and playwright. So I advertise in the Berkeley Reps program. I have a big ad in there every month, and I also sponsor a scholarship for the Berkeley Rep acting school. So people know that's one of my things. If you stay true to the things that you're genuinely interested in, and you present yourself as a genuine person out into the world doing the things that you do, that will come back to you like tenfold, literally.
A couple key lessons, if I could just highlight and maybe summarize, that I'm learning from you, which is number one, have systems in place to where your, what you said, 8,000 person sphere, right? To where your database is regularly hearing from you in things that are relevant to your role as a real estate agent, right? So that kind of the foundation is in place. And then
Exactly.
again, the theme of this is how to offer individual, how to scale individualized attention. And what I hear you saying is get clear on who you are as an individual, right?
Exactly.
Like, what do you actually care about? Is
Exactly.
it, right, the Humane Society? Is it theater? Is it something else? Identify
Right.
what that is. That way, when you go about living your life and pouring your heart into things that you actually care about, you'll authentically connect with other people who do the same thing. I think it's really easy. And I think one of the biggest challenges that I see with real estate agents is their inability and unwillingness to stay in regular contact with people. And I think part of that is because they don't know what to say. They don't call or stay in touch because they don't know what to say. And maybe it's because you haven't actually identified the individual that you are, that you're most interested in, to where reaching out and connecting with people is so natural because you already have so much in common. You're not just trying to like, hey, how's it going? Not really
Yeah.
knowing who that person is on the other side or what they like, what their interests are. But when you naturally have built an ecosystem around you of people who like what you like, it gets really authentic and genuine to connect with those people. Is that a fair assessment, Andrea?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it in a nutshell. And the other part of it that is, I think, crucial is that you remember that you're a consumer just like they are on a regular basis. You need to remember what you like and how you like to be treated. And then it's the golden rule. You just treat people the way that you would want to be treated out in the world. And when somebody comes in going, hey, how you doing? I mean, you shut off immediately. I don't know about you, but I get like 20 million sales calls a day practically. And as soon as the person, there's a little click, or it's like too long a wait. And
Yeah.
then the person gets on and goes, hey, Andrea, how are you doing? And I'm like, this is a sales call. I don't have time for that. Sorry, bye. And that's the things. Being salesy never ever helps you, ever, 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 ever. Can I say ever again? Just stop. Stop that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's going to be useless. Enthusiasm is great, and love of what you're doing is great, but you have to back it up with knowledge and something that is worthwhile to another person.
I love it. I think that for referral based agents, there's absolutely tremendous nuggets of wisdom that are being shared right now, right? Is that actually have a group of people that you have things in common with and reach out to them authentically, right? You don't need to sell if you're reaching out to serve. One of my business partners, she talks about being a servapreneur, which
Hmm.
is where you're constantly serving other people, right? You can authentically reach out to serve and offer value to people, which I think might be an interesting opportunity for us to put a little thanks to our sponsor, ProInsight, who sponsors our episodes here, and I'm grateful for them. And let's hear a little word from them if I can find. Here we go. What if in the next 60 days you could have 50 professionals from your local community referring you ideal clients? If that's of interest to you, email me at justin@proinsight.com and I'll show you how we've built a platform at ProInsight that will help you to do exactly that. All right, Andrea, I'm super interested. I know you have given us tremendous value already about how you've scaled individualized attention, and we're super grateful for that. I know you have a podcast of your own in which you regularly share, right? I'm sure some of our audience members are like, okay, that was really good. Where do I go for more? Right? Talk to us about your podcast.
Thank you. My podcast was started off actually because I got angry about the NAR DOJ lawsuits and the commission lawsuits. I got really angry actually because I really feel like a lot of times real estate agents are not given a lot of respect. And then I thought about it a little further and realized that the reason why is because nobody really knows what we do. There's certain job, a car mechanic, very obvious. They fix a car. A painter, easy, paints a house. Real estate agents, it's an incredible amount of multitasking, and it's an incredible amount of being a fiduciary for someone. You're also being something of a therapist. You're also having to know all the rules and regulations. You're also, all the things that we all know that real estate agents do, but nobody else really understands and knows what we do. They also don't understand the impact of real estate on the cities and townships that they live in. So I bring on people in realizations. My job is to educate the American people about what it is we do and why we're important. That's it in a nutshell. I'm not trying to increase people's business. What I'm trying to do is to show the world that real estate transfer taxes run our cities, that legislators make legislation, and if realtors did not have a voice in those legislative meetings, that all kinds of rules and regulations that would be really detrimental to homeowners and property owners would come into play, that we are dealing with an incredible amount of vendors on a regular basis, that real estate is a complicated profession, and it is one of the professions in the state of California. You have to be fingerprinted, you have to be licensed, etc., and have to take continuing education classes. So what I want to do through my podcast is illuminate what it is we genuinely do for people so that they can maybe have a little respect for what we do as realtors. And so to that end, I've had Robert Refkin on my show, who's the CEO of Compass. I've had city managers. I've had mayors. I've had painters. I've had interior designers. I've had other realtors. I've had coaches. I've had all kinds of people that form for want of a better word, the ecospace of every realtor out there. In our daily lives, we deal with 30, 50 people a day on a regular basis, and people don't know that that's what we do. So the podcast and my book are both called Realizations, capital R-E for real estate, and then azations for the rest of the word. And the reason why it's called Realizations is because it's a big realization when you realize what level of care and concern and work realtors do. My coach is always, ragging on me because I'm a 90-hour-a-week person. You shouldn't be. Don't do that. You should read all those books about working 4 days a week for 3 hours a day and whatever. But the reality is, to do what I do is about 90 hours a week. I love it. I thrive on it. I'm like a golden retriever puppy with my work, but still, you shouldn't work that much. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think I'll also let people know that they can also follow you on social media, right? At Andrea Gordon Real Estate.
Yeah.
Whether it be on LinkedIn, whether it be on Instagram, this is where you find Andrea to get more of the incredible knowledge that she shares.
Thank you. And I also have a website, which is www.andreagordon.com. And that's where you can see what I'm specifically up to in my real estate world. One thing I should also tell your viewers is not to scrimp on things like photography. Don't take iPhone photos. Hire a photographer, hire a professional. Don't show a photo of a bathroom with the toilet seat up. It's all obvious stuff. But the more beautiful your real estate looks, the more likely you are to get the right buyer. And it's all about finding that best fit customer, either for you or for the properties that you're representing. My book, Realizations, is based on my background in theater, because a long time ago I realized that improv and acting and theater essentially are analogous skill sets to doing real estate. And so Realizations is a training system for someone to get over themselves to the point where they can just be themselves with other people as realtors. So it's a chapter by chapter dealing with issues that come up, dealing with, what do you do when your clients are crazy? What do you do when you're in a situation that you need help in? How do you overcome obstacles? In theater, when somebody's creating a character, when an actor is creating a character, they have several questions. Who am I? Where am I? What do I want? What am I going to do to get what I want? What are the obstacles stopping me from getting what I want? Right?
Yeah, totally.
And you can ask yourselves those exact same questions in relationship to every single transaction you're involved with in your life.
What a great way to look at that. Yeah, we live in a theater, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Some people say it's the Matrix. So
could be that too. Could be that too. Well, Andrea, I've so much enjoyed again having the opportunity to meet with you, and what an honor to be on your show with some of those incredible names that you've interviewed. So that was a great pleasure. Thank you for that opportunity, and I want to thank you for number one, being a role model. I think in the industry of what it looks like to scale individualized attention, to give people a reason to believe that the real estate industry is more than worth what they charge, right? And I think that's when people meet great agents like you, they realize like, boy, this person is working really hard to stay connected, add value to me, and when I get the opportunity to have them serve me in their official role, there's nobody that's going to care more and serve more. And it's just a great honor to have great agents like you that get highlighted and help people to think a little bit bigger about what might be possible for their own real estate career. That you love it so much that the hours of the day tick by. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like you said a golden retriever, which is really fun to look at that. So thank you again for sharing that. Any final words, I guess, for our audience as we wrap up, Andrea?
A couple of things. One of the reasons I wanted to come on your show was because I really appreciate what you're doing. ProInsight is a great tool, and I think that working on a referral-based business is a goal that we all work towards. And your company helps people to figure out how to do that, and that is a beautiful and wonderful thing. That's number one, and then number two is thank you for having me. I genuinely appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I hope you have a really wonderful holiday season.
Same to you, Andrea. So kind of you on both fronts, and it was a pleasure. For everybody listening here today, we hope you also have a wonderful holiday season at whatever point you're listening to this. We also want to give you a special invitation, which you are very familiar with, having been a listener to the show, which is 3 simple words, and they are go, think, bigger. And Andrea, you absolutely helped us to do that today, and we look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Thanks again, Andrea.
Thank you. Okay, so that's it, right?
That's it. Thank you so much. Well,
you're welcome, honey. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
my pleasure, Andrea. Thanks so much.
All right, bye.